Midwest and Wonder Chrissy are awesome. Now let's get on with the show and see if we can help more crazy folks.
All the cast members from Cheers and Taxi say, Land Cruiser Midwest and Susie, you are the best. Even my friend Kirstie Alley says, please like, share, subscribe to Land Cruiser Midwest. Thanks from Davey.
Marge says, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Land Cruiser Midwest. To me, Wonder Chrissy, and Susie, you are the best thing when in Springfield by far.
There you go, folks. Some celebrity endorsements. Let's start the printing presses off. There you go. We're going to talk about finance and the economy. Going to tell you about how my street looked in 2008, 2011. It's starting to hear stories like that again. I got my Born of Osiris hat on. Shout out to the boys who are in Europe right now. Europe, Sweden, Finland. Doing a European tour. They're European for sure. So, let's talk about the economy. The inflation, consumer price index numbers came out today and they were not all that good, but the market seemed to like it. Based on what I saw of inflation, here's a few things that I get out of these numbers. Inflation is still higher than smart people at the Fed and the government expect. It's running almost 3.8%, almost 4%, so twice as much as they want it to be. And we got the Fed meeting coming out, I think, next week. The 18th or 19th and 20th, probably the Wednesday, Thursday next week. Don't expect them to be reducing rates. The reducing rates between now and June has probably fallen off the table. I expect them to leave the rates the way they are. I can see why they wouldn't want to raise the rates. So I'm not really thinking that they're going to raise them because that's kind of, I don't know. I think it might help, but it's going to hurt. It's probably going to hurt more than it helps. Let's put it that way. So let's talk about 2008, 2011 when I'm on a street, kind of a big U street. There's like 35, 40 homes here. Back in the last financial crisis, right? It was called the Great Financial Crisis. We had probably 10 homes that went up for sale in those 3 years. We had a lot of people go through divorces. Yeah, I'm sure part of the result of the Great Financial Crisis they were going through. We had a house that sat empty over here for like 5 years. I think the people probably just let it go. They got foreclosed on and took a couple of years before the bank came in. And at that point, it just sat there for a couple of years. And finally someone came in probably 2015 and maybe redid it. Spent a lot of money on it to get it resold. So I know right now there's a couple of people on my block that are not with work. They're out of work. Have been for quite a bit. Par for the course, I guess, with what's going on in our economy. Another one's a young gentleman that lives across the street. He's probably 22 and he's got his first job. He's been doing his first job for like 2.5, 3 years as an apprentice mechanic at a local Honda dealership. Good size Honda dealership down here. They've got tons of cars on their lot, and they seem like they always have a good selection of cars there. He just told me yesterday that, in the last month or two, they've put him on a 32-hour week. As a result, he's making $800 less a month. He said prior to that, he was working over 40 hours a week for years. Now they've got him on 32 max, and he's kind of getting scared. He's getting scared. He's getting kind of antsy, and he's not liking it. He's not liking the economy and the where it's going. I was just watching some car channels today, and now is the time when people buy a lot of used cars because they get their IRS checks back from the government, and they need to upgrade their car. They're having problems with their car. They want to invest in a better car so they can get to work. But what I'm hearing too is the amount of money coming back on returns is less than in prior years. So there's not a lot of money coming back from the government to swash around and provide people with new car opportunities. So it's not as busy in the used car market as it used to be. Plus, these used car dealers usually get a lot of their inventory from the dealers that have people coming in buying new cars. Well, if you haven't noticed, I've been driving by car dealerships in my area in the last couple of weeks, and some of these dealers for the last 2 years have had nothing on their lot. When I drive by now, they've got oodles and oodles of cars sitting there. There's probably 2 or 3 dealers that I know that haven't had many cars on their lots for a couple of years now. All of a sudden have a crap load of cars sitting on their lots. And they don't appear to be selling. So when they're not selling the new cars, there's not the trade-ins coming in, and a lot of times those make their way down into the independent used car dealers, and then those are the ones that some of the people that are trying to save a few bucks buy and sell. So as the government keeps the printing presses going, if you're watching here on the side of the screen here, we're showing you how they're printing money in thin air, right? Look at them just printing money left and right. That is what the government has been doing. So going back to the inflation numbers, some of the things that those inflation numbers don't tell you, or the media doesn't tell you about those inflation numbers, is that those inflation numbers exclude gas and food. So if you think 3.8%, almost 4% is our inflation number, it's not. It's not. They did not include food or gas. And I don't know, I just went to the grocery store and I just spent a ton of money. Gas here is probably at an all-time high, about $3.85 a gallon now here in the Midwest. And we actually still have a refinery that's offline. They haven't said what happened there, but they lost power about a month ago, and it wasn't a good situation. So they're still trying to find out if it was cyber hacking or what have you, but they've been offline for over a month. As a result, gas prices went up like about 80 cents in a matter of 2 weeks. So we're at an all-time high, and we were down to $3 at one point recently, and all of a sudden it just spiked up. So inflation is raging. Now's the time when you see houses come on the market. There's one house in my neighborhood. We've got like about 400 homes here. Last year in the late summer we had about 10 or 15 on the market. Now we've got one. We are also seeing there's some empty lots that have been sitting here for 25 years now. They are starting to build some spec homes, like one spec home at a time. They just put in the foundation for one a couple of weeks ago, but they haven't started. They're just kind of letting the cement cure at this point. So I suspect in the next couple of weeks they'll be starting with some wood and starting to get it closed in. So probably take about 3-4 weeks to get the structure up. But I'm only seeing right now, and today's middle of March, right? This is when real estate hits the market because people want to sell their houses and people want to buy their houses, going into the late spring and early summer. So when their kids get out of school, they can move, and then they're all ready for the next school year. But the housing market here just weirdly dead. Weirdly dead. There are not a lot of houses on the market, and we'll have to wait and see how this turns out. It's kind of strange, kind of out of the ordinary. But I'm not a real estate agent, but it just don't look good to me. So, but prices are still somewhat hanging in there. They're maybe down 5%. For the last couple of years. So the housing prices have held their price so far. We'll see if they continue to remain strong, or maybe they're in the process of taking a huge dip here. I don't know. So, the economy and inflation is not in a good spot, folks. So as the mainstream media tries to put a positive spin on it, you should know better, and I'm telling you, you know better. Also, those job numbers that we had, we did a video on that too, where, a lot of times, the last year, they've been putting out those job numbers every month, and then the following month, they retroactively adjust them down. So they're lying through their teeth. They're telling you that the 200,000 jobs were created, and then the following month, when they come back with the next month's job numbers, they're turning them down. Instead of 200,000, it's 100,000. So it's less than expected. So they're gaslighting you guys to the max, and also too, if you dig deep into those job numbers, those job numbers that are jobs that are being created are the majority of the good jobs that are being created are government jobs. Big government's creating jobs left and right, and that's not good either. We don't want bigger government. Government's big enough, so we don't need any more government jobs. But the good jobs that are being created, they're government jobs. The rest of the jobs are your Starbucks, McDonald's, Uber Eats, Uber, those type of jobs, and those aren't good jobs. And those are the jobs that a person is taking on their second, third, and fourth job just to get by because they lost their good job. So those are the things you're not going to hear in the mainstream media. But when you come here, I'm going to give you the lowdown. It's more than just the numbers. You got to dig into those numbers and see where they're coming from, and they'll tell a story themselves. So thought we'd do a little bit about finance today. I love finance. We're waiting to see what happens with NYCB. Their stock seems to be stabilized for now, as Steve Mnuchin and his two other buddies came in as white knights to save that bank. But the stockholders are getting crushed there, folks. They had to do a reverse stock split on that. And we'll see if the $1 billion saves that bank. That was the 30th largest bank in the United States with over 100, let me say that again, with over $100 billion in assets. So we'll see if the $1 billion can stop the bleeding or not. I also told you in a video a couple days ago that the government has terminated its bond lending program that's been keeping a lot of these banks flush with money when they need it. So that's no longer an option for banks. So their cost of doing business has just gone up. You're going to see banks reduce the amount of lending that they do, which also will hit their earnings. And in some cases, you're going to start seeing some of these banks have to put stuff on their books that they've been carrying in the background for many years. All the bad news, all the write-offs, all the commercial backed mortgage securities that went belly up and are underwater. Those are going to start making their way onto the balance sheet of these banks as we approach the end of the first quarter. So, yeah, the banking industry is going to be in for another world of hurt come the next couple of months, folks. It's a given. It's a given, and you heard it here first. So, that's all I have for you today. Hope you guys like the finance topics here. We'll be bringing you the migrant stuff again tomorrow, probably. This is DJ Wonder Chrissy for Migrant Mayhem. We are part of Land Cruiser Midwest. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button if you would, please. Help me out with the algorithm. And say hi to the folks of Born of Osiris on their European tour. Shout out to the boys again. Hey, guys. Shout out from DJ Wonder Chrissy. All right, over and out. DJ Wonder Chrissy for Migrant Mayhem. See ya.